All right, welcome back to the Malapert Smark podcast. We have done it. We've reached 100 subscribers. 100.
Oh, wow.
You could believe it.
Are you kidding me? How did this happen?
We're like 106 since the time of this recording. So since last week, we jumped over 100. So kudos to you fans out there for getting the job done for us. We gave you a task and pulled through for us. So now we need to get to 1 million. So just hit subscribe, please. You don't even have to listen to us. You don't have to listen to the segments or anything.
Subscribers.
I love how we're jumping from 100 to 1 million right away. Not even 1,000.
You got to think big. But we need your subscription, please, because we need the money. We're broke. We're really broke. So we need some money.
Yeah.
In this world, you're nothing without money. We literally need money to eat. So please help us. Help us eat. Help us put food in our families' mouths, as they say in the wrestling business.
Who's gonna? Okay, yeah. No, I was gonna say something else, but Keon has a better line. All right, that's a good one. That's a good one. To quote Dax Harwood, right?
To quote Dax Harwood and every wrestler in the '80s, like literally.
Yeah, that's
He's
true.
so old school.
He's old school, man.
He's very old school.
That being said, thank you for joining me, Vlad, the wrestling expert. He's down there. Robert, also, the frozen Asian, as he's known.
Staying frozen.
Still frozen. Thank you for joining us. We're going to talk some WWE today. We're on the road to WrestleMania, so I've labeled this segment the Road to WrestleMania 2024 Part 1. So I guess every week we'll check in on what's going on, just freeform talk about what we think is going to happen based on what we know so far. We talked about The Rock last week. It was our featured segment, The Rock Return. If you guys haven't heard that, you could go on our YouTube page. We had a long discussion about what that means for the card for WrestleMania, who's going to face who, so that's the big questions these days. And since then, we've had a few developments, not very big ones, but Roman Reigns is going to be in a four-way at the Royal Rumble against AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and LA Knight. So this came up because last week on SmackDown, on the 5th, there was a triple threat match, and the winner was supposed to face Randy Orton, and Roman Reigns ended up interfering, ruining the match, and then Nick Aldis just made it a four-way, right? What do you think of that, Vlad? Four-way match for the Universal title at the Royal Rumble.
Obviously, I prefer it to be like somebody one-on-one. I thought it was going to end up being Orton. I think we talked about
that was a pretty solid superstar matchup, one-on-one. That would have been pretty good.
I think that would have been better. I'm not a big fan of all these multi-man matches, but it's like a triple threat. That's bad enough, but four-way, yikes. That seems like AEW type booking. I don't know. They like the multi-man matches. Usually WWE doesn't. They have had their own, but not as much as AEW. So I don't know. Obviously, all the guys there are pretty legit for the most part. Either they're over or they're like really good wrestlers or they have a big name, whatever have you. So it's going to be an interesting match. But the one thing I will say is there a way, I think I'm going back to that thing I said last week, is there a way to get the title off Roman before WrestleMania? Now, I don't think so. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I think he's going to win, hold on to the title to get to WrestleMania. But I'm just saying, based on how the situation with The Rock looks to be happening, and then also what are they going to be doing with Cody, I'm wondering if they're thinking if there is a way to take the title off him before WrestleMania, so you could still have the match with The Rock, but it wouldn't be for the title.
After this whole reign, to lose his title at a four-way at the Royal Rumble, I don't know, it would seem kind of unceremonious.
I agree. It should happen at WrestleMania, but I don't know. The way they're booking is, it doesn't look like he's going to lose the title, because if he's going to face The Rock, he's not going to lose the title, because The Rock doesn't need the title, nor does he want the title.
Right. Well, let's hear some thoughts from Robert. Any thoughts about the booking here, the four-way, fatal four-way?
In general, I don't really like four-way matches. I would have preferred a one-on-one match. That being said, I think it's still fine. I guess they want LA Knight to stay in the title picture since he's very over right now, so why not? I think they're trying to sell it as this being a four-way means there's an increased risk for Roman Reigns to lose the title. I'm not falling for it, but, that's how they're trying to sell it. I don't think he's going to lose, but let's say there could be a possibility that he loses. I would say one possible outcome, if he does lose, it would probably be Randy Orton winning it. And then if Cody Rhodes wins the Royal Rumble, he would have a legacy match against Randy Orton for the title. That could happen. Ultimately, I still don't think Roman Reigns is going to lose. He's still going to come out the winner one way or another. Are we going to talk about WrestleMania predictions a little bit later on, or touch on that later?
Yeah, give me 1 second, because I'll give my thoughts about this four-way, and then we'll jump to that. So I think, my thoughts on four-ways in general, In the beginning, when they started having them, they had that pay-per-view called Fatal 4-Way, and it was kind of like a novelty thing, like once a year with like a bunch of superstars. And it was kind of trippy because you would think somebody would be getting the pinfall, and then the other guy would come up out of nowhere, and then, the next guy would come up out of nowhere and hit his finishing move. And then it was kind of cool in that sense. But yeah, it's been kind of overdone since then. I think they even dropped that pay-per-view. They tend to do it sometimes. In terms of this one, the scene where Paul Heyman was all surprised when Nick Aldis told him the news and he was angry about it. But I don't see why he would be, because you know how Robert was saying this gives it an illusion that it's more of a risk, more of a chance that he'll lose in a 4-way. I think it's even less of a chance because it's a 4-way, like a triple threat, no disqualification, no rules. What's to stop the Bloodline from coming in and just ransacking the match? Once everyone's down, Solo and Jimmy can come in and that'll be that. So, okay. I don't know what this does for anybody. It just kills time. Those guys are still going to want another match. All these feuds are going to continue still, I guess. I don't know what's to keep them from leaving him alone while he goes to fight The Rock or Cody or whoever wins the Royal Rumble. So that's my thoughts about that. Okay, so we're doing this segment as a running segment until we get to WrestleMania. So whatever thoughts we get, whatever new news we get, I guess it's going to lead to us changing what our predictions are for the card and who's going to face who. So Robert, what were you thinking?
Not necessarily what I was thinking of what could happen. I just read another potential rumored plan for WrestleMania would be Roman Reigns actually main eventing both nights. One night would be against The Rock, the other night would be against Cody. I don't know how that gets booked, but that's what I just heard.
Okay. I'm starting to lean more towards, because they've been saying he might face The Rock at that February pay-per-view, the Elimination Chamber. That seems more possible, because I'm not seeing how The Rock is going to be allowed to face Roman, because the winner of the Royal Rumble is supposed to be the one to get the shot to face Roman, though. I don't know how they're going to pull that all together.
Not necessarily. They could choose to face Seth, so...
Yes. Yeah. Why would you? But okay.
Why would anyone, right?
All right, then. Anything else that I'm missing about WWE from this week? Because we're going to move on after this.
Yeah, real quick, that Drew McIntyre has been killing it lately. The fact that he wasn't made world champion over Seth Rollins is kind of a travesty. He has been tearing it up, dude. On the mic, in the ring, he's been phenomenal. I want to give him some props. Just give him some flowers, as they say. Give him his flowers. He deserves some credit for the work that he's been putting in pretty much since WrestleMania. I know he had that thing where there was some talk of maybe he was upset and that whatever, that maybe he wouldn't be coming back, some stuff with his contract, but he has been killing it, man. He's been doing a great job. He deserves some credit. He went in that promo with Punk, and I thought he was actually better on the mic. I don't know if you saw it, Robert, but there was a promo to start Raw with Punk and Drew McIntyre.
It's the only segment I watched.
Right. Exactly. I figured. But anyways, Drew McIntyre is doing a great job. He deserves to get a lot of credit. He's killing it. I just want to say that. We know Punk is great on the mic, but Drew deserves some credit as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting what shakes out for Drew for WrestleMania. So we'll see. But I got to agree with you. Yeah, that segment with CM Punk on Monday was pretty cool. We'll see what happens there. Who's going to win the Royal Rumble? That's coming up. All right, then. So we'll check in on this next time. We'll see what developments may occur. Otherwise, people, leave your comments, hit like, and subscribe. Thank you very much for listening. We'll be back with more wrestling talk before you know it.